I don't know if you heard this, Rex Chapman here on the Rich Eisen Show. I don't know if you saw this tweet on your Twitter feed, but I did. Brockman, I think you're the one who put it on my Twitter feed because you retweeted it saying this should be made into a T-shirt.
Absolutely.
That apparently when the Celtics were having turnover problems last night, and as we all know, that's their Achilles heel, right? Mm-hmm. So they're having turnover problems. Ime Udoka calls timeout. And according to a source, stepped into the huddle and said, quote, "Will you guys stop playing like a-holes?" End quote.
Nice.
And I figured, right? Like,
yeah.
He said
a-hole because he didn't want to say
yes. Well, he did actually say the full word, but, you know, that's the phrase. The theme of the day is earmuffs, right? So, right. So what do you think, you know, of his effectiveness here and how clearly the Celtics have bought and gobbled up and are absolutely physically and mentally and spiritually embodying whatever he's selling right now, Rex?
I couldn't love it more. I grew up first a Sixers fan and then kind of switched to the Lakers. I was never a Boston fan, never. And over the years, I've grown to root for Boston. Danny Ainge is a good buddy, of course, and Austin Ainge is there in the front office. I root for them on a personal level, but I don't know. The fan base, you can hate them or love them, and for basketball purposes and baseball purposes, I really dig their passion. It's really unlike any place you go. It can border on going over the line at times. But they love their teams. It's a great place to play as an opponent. If you like playing on the road, you love going to Boston. I mean, just from a competitive standpoint, because there's nothing like winning on the road there and shutting them up.
Well, you played in the old Boston Garden, Rex, right? So what are your memories of that from back in the day?
Oh, man, it was such a dump. It looked so pretty on TV, and, the parquet and the bright orange, and it was awful. They kept the locker room like 90 degrees, 95 degrees. Oh, and those showers that you had in high school with like one center pole and then 6 spigots all around that pole? Well, they had one of those, but only one of the spigots worked. And it had like cold water dripping out of it. That's how you had to take your showers after the game, seniority-wise, one at a time. It was terrible. They had rats in there. It was awful.
Well, I think the Gremlins still exist, Rex. Did you hear that the warm-up for the Warriors last night was delayed a little bit because the rim was 2 inches higher?
I saw that.
Apparently the Gremlins are still there in Boston.
Pretty funny. I like it. But you know what's funny about that is every player, the second they step out on the floor, can tell if the rim is right or not.
Is that right?
Just by looking at it. You walk up to it and there's something that's just wrong. You can kind of put your arm up there, measure, and go, "Yep, that's low," or "Yep, that's high." Just after being out there for so long,
you could tell something's 2 inches off.
Oh, you can tell if it's an inch off or a half inch off. Yes, no question.
That's incredible.
Rex, you loved playing against Boston. Career 16 a game, most ever points you scored against a team against Boston. 500 points in 31 games.
Wow. Did you know that?
I was the Celtics killer. I bet we beat them twice.